Can you just set the record straight for the difference between an incubator and an accelerator? And maybe that definition has changed over time too.
Yeah. So the original idea behind an incubator, like in the late 90s, was like, let's create a co-working space of sorts, and I'm going to provide you some assets around that. And the subtlety of to why there was this implosion of incubators back then was really clarified for me recently when I was at the Turing Festival in Scotland, and somebody gave, I forget who it was, but basically had studied why the failure of the startups in incubators. And it turned out that it had to do with a psychological issue, which was that you tend to gravitate towards staying within a close-knit group, especially when you're going through a lot of stress. And what was happening was that incubators were creating a nest where nobody had to leave. And that nest allowed for companies to necessarily expand out of that nest. So they gravitated towards staying in that nest because it was a comfortable environment. You had your friends, you had the water cooler, you'd have conversation. And it was a study that he had done of a lot of the cases of startups during that period. The accelerator is a slightly different beast in the sense that it is designed to literally get you out of the nest.
Right. Okay.
And so yes, there is a period when you are in effect incubated, but it's only for a very short period of time. But the intent isn't to keep you there indefinitely. The intent isn't to provide a nest, a warm place for you to stay indefinitely. The point is to get you out, to grow, to scale, to push the limits, to learn everything you need to learn to scale your company, to get you to product market fit and push you out. And so that's kind of what we focus on. And there is then probably a fracturing of what the term accelerator means these days, because there's a lot of people that call themselves accelerator, and then maybe they're more of an incubator and stuff. But that's probably the closest you can come to the differentiation between incubator and accelerator.
Is there a time limit roughly that makes an accelerator? Is it like, so people that don't know, is it 3 months? Is it 6 months that would make something more of an accelerator than an incubator?
Yeah, I think if you look at a lot of the cross-section of accelerator programs, for some odd reason, 3 months seems to be that happy number.
Okay. Which isn't a lot of time.
It isn't, no. It is enough to like sort of know what you need to know and maybe do a few potential key hires before you go and venture out on your own.
Okay.
Our program's structured a little differently than that, but you know the dynamics of it tend to reflect that, which is there is a substantial amount of growth that happens beyond month 3, and usually it involves, one of them is expansion outside of the environment that we provide.
I potentially failed to do in my situation was really sit down and hash out what is our vision, what are our different roles, kind of what's expected from each person. And I think those are things that can make or break a company or a project.
That's good advice. We haven't heard that one before.
Absolutely, yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah, the co-founder stuff is cool. And you even see it, you know, the Twitter co-founders had in the early days, and a lot of people think or are saying BlackBerry